Welcome to this Tournament of Everything Scouting Report, where we take a look at just one competitor out of the vastness that is Infinity and talk about them to figure out why they deserve a spot in our tournament.
In Scooby-Dooby-Dooby-Doobly we like to take a look at just one competitor, one at a time, to see if they can ultimately become number one. We never know until we've gone through all of them, and there's a lot of ones that constitute Infinity. So, Rob, why don't you tell us which one of the ones of all of the ones we will be investigating tonight?
Well, our competitor tonight, if she's not number one, we'll definitely find out who number one is. It's Frances Gertrude McGill.
Wow, yes, just at an immediate glance, this right here is a fantastic competitor. And perhaps if you're a betting person, someone you might want to put some odds on. This was Frances, as you said, Gertrude McGill, born November 18th, 1882, lived until January 21st, 1959, the Canadian forensic pathologist, criminologist, bacteriologist, allergologist, and allergist. Basically, it sounds like she did all of the ologies, and she was nicknamed the Sherlock Holmes of Saskatchewan.
She influenced the development of forensic pathology in Canadian police work and was internationally noted for her expertise in the subject. After completing her medical degree at the University of Manitoba, she moved to Saskatchewan, where she was hired first as the provincial bacteriologist and then as the provincial pathologist. She worked extensively with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and local police forces for more than 30 years and was instrumental in establishing the first RCMP forensic laboratory.
Yeah, she would go on to become an expert in pathology, but let's walk that path back to where she began. Born in 1882 in Minnesota, Manitoba. Her parents were Edward McGill. That's all it says here. Her family had emigrated from Ireland to Canada in 1819. Oh, looks like her mom's name was Henrietta and also of Irish descent. Former school teacher and had once circumnavigated the globe.
Now, in 1920, she became the provincial pathologist for Saskatchewan, and by 1922 had become the director of that laboratory, a lady who just kept moving up. She now dealt with cases of suspicious death, working extensively with the local police forces and the mounted police. Her investigations required frequent travel, up to 43 trips in a single year, and she sometimes used a snowmobile, dog sled, or float plane to reach crime scenes, once traveling to the Arctic Circle. This is a lady who will follow the course of justice literally to the ends of the earth.
Absolutely. And that is what gained her a professional reputation as a skilled and meticulous criminologist, fondly called Doc by members of the police force. And her personal motto was reportedly think like a man, act like a lady, and work like a dog.
Isn't that also your motto?
It surely is, but it's slightly rearranged there.
Now, she retired from her job in November of 1942, having conducted more than 64,000 laboratory examinations over the course of her civil service career. She continued working at her allergy clinic in her retirement and spent more time on outdoor activities and trips with friends. Now, several months later, she decided to start a new project, providing vaccinations for preschool children, and subsequently set up inoculation clinics at schools across Regina.
And this wasn't somebody who was just working on things that were put on her desk. She was curious and interested in other things. McGill's work sometimes allowed her to solve murders that had gone uninvestigated. In fact, during 1 year, she performed post-mortem examinations of 13 exhumed bodies and discovered that 5 of those bodies were murder victims. And in one case that was not initially suspected to be a crime at all, McGill helped prove that a woman had poisoned several of her relatives.
This is a lady who many movies should probably be made about. Now, she
True.
did pass away in January of 1959, having been diagnosed with breast cancer and later pleurisy. She was cremated, and her ashes were scattered by her family at a favorite plot of land in Cherry Valley, Manitoba. Obituaries described her as one of Canada's best-known criminologists And an editorial in the Leader Post reflected that her extensive professional contributions and lasting relationships with friends and colleagues had earned her a measure of immortality, and that continues today into infinity.
Absolutely. Yes, and I hope that she's remembered until infinity is fulfilled. At which point she'll probably find out that there are a whole bunch of cold cases that she can probably solve. But if you want to find out if that is the case, don't forget to join us here in the ultimate tournament of everything, where 5 days out of the week we do these deep dives into individual candidates just as spectacular, possibly, as this Frances Gertrude McGill. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have 9 rounds, facing off 2 by 2 characters, pitting them off against another, picking a victor, and moving the victor on to the next round.
That's right, and if you liked what you heard, and we know that you certainly did, we'll see you next time on our next installment of
The ultimate tournament of everything.